A bad man fell from the sky.
There we go. Look, Ma, I'm a skull monkey. In fact, I am Clog Monkey, the king of all skull monkeys.
Clog Monkey will never get away with this. My people are far too smart to accept him as leader.
First, we make an evil engine.
We make an evil engine.
Evil engine number 9.
Number 9.
To destroy the neighborhood.
Destroy the neighborhood.
Now let's get to work.
Let's get to work.
My metal Greymon is number 1. Oh, lost again. Let's have a battle with my metal Mummymon. Okay. He evolved this morning. Wow. I bet he can beat metal Greymon. No way, your shrimp won't have a chance. You're here. Wow! Metal Greymon and Metal Mummymon.
We'll see who wins now.
なんだ。
ようやくお出ましか。
4人まとめてかかってこい。
完成してやろう。
はじけて混ざれ。俺の大猿は半端じゃないぞ。
待たせたな。こいつが俺のフルパワーだ。
Okay. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Respawn Rose Cantina. Hope you're all doing well today on this fine January 28th morning. It's nice and cool here in my neck of the woods. Thankfully, I like it like that. Although my weather reports teased me. I said I was going to possibly get some snow, and it's still teasing me. And I'd like nothing more. Although I know there's plenty of places in the country right now that are getting that and then some. And I hope you're all staying warm and staying safe out there. All right. So I don't know if anybody saw the little titling, but we do have some, we have a strong topic today that cropped up, and that definitely has always caught my attention. Especially from the person running the whole thing. But unfortunately, nobody yet for the chat. It is early. I do this quite early. I'm sure some people are like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Well, what can I say? It's either I do something like this, or I'll admit it, I doom scroll. I doom scroll the X and whatnots. So this is much more, I'd say this is much more productive. But since I already mentioned it, why don't we just jump right on into it this morning, because the chat hasn't quite gotten there yet. Like I said, still early for everyone. Still early. Okay, so this is on the Stop Killing Games. The madman himself, Ross Scott of Accursed Farms. Can't tell me that isn't a trustworthy face. I think he has self-described himself as a mad scientist. But anyways, and I hate to take us to Reddit of all places, but they do have the Stop Killing Games on section on Reddit. And they did post this message, which, because you'll see they have Stop Killing Games final count of verified signatures of the European Citizens Initiative. So the European Union, 1,294,188. And I'll have another post in just a moment detailing more of that. That has and I think, although I think it has it here too. It shows the whole breakdown. Let's see if there we go. There we go. European Citizens Initiative. Stop destroying video games. Verified signatures. Going from Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia. I hope I pronounced some of these correctly. Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. So you got the turnouts. Ross, you got your turnouts, buddy. So good to see. And a good morning to you, Captain Keeley. Hope you're doing well. We're already jumping into the topics of Stop Killing Games. Hope you're doing well today. But it says here, let me just zoom in a bit more. Saying, hello, another announcement. Things are moving quite fast right now, and we've decided to share the final count with you ahead of schedule. Originally, this wasn't possible due to certain background limitations, and our plan was to wait until shortly before our next meeting with the EU Commission. At that point, we intended to reveal everything through a video alongside a redesigned website and restructured Discord and several other updates that, ironically, I still can't talk about just yet. We didn't want to present our case unprepared, unintentionally leak information to lobby groups, or worse of all, burn out our team. Most of you already understand this, but it still needs to be said. Please be patient with the team. We do this because we believe in it, and because we believe what we're doing is right. None of us are paid for this. We all have jobs, families, and responsibilities, and for some, the past weeks have been rough. Keep that in mind. You're not talking to some abstract institution like the EU. You're talking to real people. Yes, even mods are real. In fact, you're talking to someone who's about to play... Oh no. Play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Oh boy. In about 30 minutes just to decompress after a stressful week. Yeesh. Pick a better game, bruh. Anyways, tomorrow we'll also be sharing this information on our newly rebuilt, or in some cases, entirely new media channels. Ross has kindly agreed to lend his voice and face to help with that rollout. The handover is planned for mid to late February. Cheers, Moritz Katzner for Stop Killing Games. So there was this post that I found here, and then also over here from the Games Radar. The reason why I bring this one up is because we do also get a actual little voice message from our boy Ross. Oops. Just been for me. I've just been hearing the music. There we go. Anyways, we have cleared the requirement. Stop Killing Games. The EU initiative has almost 1.3 million verified signatures. Just enhance. Clearing it for the next phase that's expected to take place next month. The signatures can be submitted to the European Commission. And I do remember us on Saturday Night Sith when this was certainly first announced. We tackled the topic, brought it up, and then I know, people have issues, especially because you are involving government bodies and stuff like that. It's always very risky. It's just sometimes, drastic times call for drastic measures, and if you're trying to prevent games from completely going bye-bye, then you do have to unfortunately do some things kind of like this. And it was encouraged, certainly if you are only within the European Union of countries, submit. I would have loved to have added my own signature, but sadly, I'm in here in the United States, so I cannot do any such thing. But anyways, so the final count is in for Stop Killing Games Citizens Initiative, which now confirmed to have an accumulated almost 1.3 million verified signatures before its collection was closed at the end of July 2025. Wow. Meaning it can officially move forward to the next stage in the process. And a post on Reddit, Stop Killing Games. Okay, so that's what we already tackled there. According to a breakdown of a number of verified signatures per country, the initiative gained the most support in Germany. So at least they broke. I was going to look at the list again just to see who had the most, who had the large count there. But that at least, hey, Germany's showing support. Which had 233,180 supporters. There was also a strong level of support in France, Poland, and Spain, which brought 145,000, 143,000, and 121,000 signatures, respectively. And a separate video announcement below, Stop Killing Games creator Ross Scott, aka Curse Farms on YouTube. Definitely give him a sub. I love his content. I have loved his content for a very long time. Ever since he first did his civil protection videos. I think when I started following him was around episode 2 of Civil Protection, and that was like a 2-parter. And I think he'd already had him out at the time. And if you are definitely for some kind of unique, bizarre humor, Ross fills that niche very neatly. And also his Freeman's Mind is fantastic and funny, and I love it to death. It's probably like one of those things that will always pop on just to watch in the back, having background. And now I can't think of Gordon Freeman from Half-Life having any other voice other than Ross's. And his Game Dungeons, for which he does video game reviews on, is also amazing and for some of it insightful and interesting. And that was certainly where the early beginnings of his annoyance with companies was more there to stop killing games and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Battleforge from EA and stuff. That was one of the first videos where that started creeping up, and he was telling people to start writing letters to get them out and start, flooding EA's higher staff, especially the sort of people that would be in charge of this sort of stuff. So this has been a long time thing and a long time coming for this to get bigger, a project for him. And like he even said, I don't even care if I get credit. I don't even care if it's PewDiePie. I just wanted to make sure it's the people stop killing games. And I think even it was the funniest damn thing. PewDiePie even did pick up the at least the signal boosting it more to get that message out there and everything. So that was quite the hilarious part to all that. But absolutely go and check out his content. It's fantastic. But yes, he explains we have cleared the. I'm wondering if that's what this. So this here we'll play this. Hopefully, let me just make sure I can see this. Give me. I'll pause the music really quick.
This is just a quick announcement that the signatures for the Stop Destroying Video Games Citizens Initiative have been finalized. We've cleared the requirements, and the next phase will be officially submitting them to the EU Commission in Brussels, probably sometime late February. Now, there's actually a lot more going on with the Stop Killing Games campaign in a good way, which will get announced later. I've been told to hold off on that, but things are happening.
All right, just a little update from the madman himself. But otherwise, the initiative, officially called Stop Destroying Video Games by its own description, calls out to require publishers that sell or license video games to consumers in the European Union or related features and assets sold for video games they operate to leave said video games in a functional, playable state. Basically, and I believe I talked about this when I was watching the Xbox Developers Direct, when we started seeing the live service games being advertised and stuff like that, and I started talking about end of life and stuff like that. Then I think that's something that certainly with gamers, it needs to start being brought up more with these live service games, whether it's shitty or not. I think preservation is key, and it sucks that we'd have to kind of go to bat for certain games, but I do think he has a point. Every game should be preserved in some manner, because you never know. Because like it is, anybody could want to dig up any of these old games and want to start playing. And that's certainly been. I've seen some other people on X reposting and getting games out there that otherwise weren't. It's kind of like they're kind of like getting ahead of the curve of things of GOG and stuff like that, making games accessible for today with modern systems and stuff like that, because like it is, everything changes, everything gets a little different, and it just takes that slight system variation to kind of throw a wrench in the whole system. And you can't always play them on either, current Windows 11, Windows 10, whatever it may be. So having an end of life plan just to be able to do that is fantastic, because you aren't always going to get people that are passionate to resurrect these live service games in some capacity. There just happens to be like for today, we're going to be playing another Star Wars Galaxies server. And I mean, again, that just happened to have a very niche collective fan base that wanted to see the game still live on in some fashion or another, and it's certainly been doing so. And that was also a good part on Evolve. Who would have thought? Sony Online Entertainment gave out. It was like, here, you guys can work on it. You just have to rebuild the source code. So there's that. And then, I mean, there are private servers out there for other games, from World of Warcraft to other games, because certainly also people prefer different variations of the games that they once loved and enjoyed, and developers felt they had to keep going and keep going and keep going and making changes that maybe weren't actually favorable to a portion of the player base. So some people do that. And if there's anybody out there still willing, Matrix Online, please, I'd love to see an emulated server of Matrix Online. But otherwise, it says it doesn't aim to acquire ownership of said video games, associated intellectual rights, or monetization rights, or put any expectations on publishers to provide resources for the said video games once they discontinue it, while leaving it in a reasonable, functional, playable state. But it does hope to prevent the remote disabling of video games by publishers before providing reasonable means to continue functioning of said video games without the involvement from the side of the publisher. And this is something that I've railed on about too when it comes to especially online multiplayer games, and this was a definite huge, I'd say, benefit to the PC side of things when you had multiplayers that we had generally. And it was reliant on players and stuff like that to set up their own servers, but that's what worked. Players created their own servers and made a play. It's like why you still have something like even the Jedi Academy mod Movie Battles 2 that still has active servers. And I believe even probably for the base game of Jedi Academy, you still have people playing because they can just fire up their own servers. And that's kind of the thing I wish would make a return instead of these player lobbies that are cooked into the game itself, where you have to do the whole matchmaking and all that crap. Just give us the ability to create our own servers. And funnily enough, with the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I know that there is a mod or something that people made it that you could create your own servers for that game. Took some finagling, I can imagine, but they made it possible, so you didn't have to deal with matchmaking. You could just go into a server and start playing. And that's the sort of stuff that I think should be taken into account, especially, I mean, nowadays your consoles are other than maybe like the Nintendo Switch or something, but otherwise the consoles are getting so powerful that they're practically PCs anyways. So let's just start bringing more of that functionality to the table. Give us those options to be able to have player created servers. Players manage them. They have their own mods for the servers. Some get really tismy with their rules and stuff like that. Some aren't. You know, sometimes you have to be a little cautious, but that's just using your own, judgment. And if you think anything's afoot, get the hell out, sort of thing. And certainly if like there's no mods in the server, it was called, it was a free for all. And if there wasn't a mod when there was a dingbat that was hacking the game and stuff like that, causing problems, aimbotting or whatever, then it's like called, all right, well, if there's no mod here, then we'll just leave and empty the server basically until the one ruining the fun can piss off basically. So bringing back that, I think, would be great. Having player created servers again would be wonderful. But it does hope to prevent the remote disabling of video games by the publishers before providing reasonable means to continue functioning of said video games without involvement from the side of the publisher. And this was even something brought up on, I forgot what it was I was sharing. Oh yeah, I'll bring that. So let me just switch around really quick. Even here on X, I had, what was it I shared? Let me bring that up again really quick. Because it is the thing. It's like, why are we no longer... So yeah, okay. So yeah, Zach Schutt of the CEO of Meta PCs had posted this here. Say average AAA gaming experience, 68 gigabyte install, 4-hour nap, 112 gigabyte update. And there I have run into such cases. Well, not maybe like 112 gigabyte update, but certainly like get large enough updates that just make you go, why? And I had this, I was like, why I like sticking to old games still, but still it's also tiresome. And Decrepit here, he did bring up exactly what happened to ready to play games fresh off the disc. And I know there are people out there that don't like physical games, or find the problem with physical games because they have just as much of a problem with deteriorating and stuff like that. I get that. I'd say digital also runs a lot of risks as well, just because you never know what can happen when it comes to your storage devices. They could completely get either from a surge or something, anything. I mean, like, I've had hard drives that have just suddenly gone out on me. Technology, while fantastic, is not always 100%. And I mean, who knows? At one point do we actually potentially lose internet service? So while you may have that cloud backup or whatever, what happens when you no longer have internet access to access your backups and stuff like that? That's those sort of things. Like, that's why sometimes, yes, having that physicality of a game or a movie and stuff like that, books, I mean, Jesus Christ, will last an age. But and I understand, like, you know, VHS CDs, they'll have their runtime, but through your own, I'm trying to find the right word here for it, but, you know, just through your own diligence and being able to maintain and keep things properly contained can last a long time. I mean, for God's sakes, people still will resell their VHS tapes on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, just to get rid of them. They'll get it, so send them out for free, and they still play just fine. So there is something to be said for this, because yes, we do no longer get the games just fully on a game disc or anything like that. It's you just don't have that same ease of being able to pop in any game and fire it up and play. Like, I mean, I still have my Super Nintendo cartridges, my Nintendo 64 cartridges. I still have some Nintendo Entertainment System games. And I mean, just like it is, your PC can crash out on you. Your consoles certainly can same thing. Unless they've been maybe like refurbished, and sometimes a lot of those kinks have been ironed out. Cool. But you still run into just the same issues. One way or another, nothing is really safe. Nothing is a guarantee of keeping, but, you know, it's all I guess it is just all a gamble at the end of the day when you get down to it. But that at least is, you do have other places. Let me try and I did find another kind of, I think it's Ross Scott that posted this as well. It was, I believe, the new CEO of what you calls it, GOG. The new had been talking about game preservation, and I think certain difficulties of doing so. Let me just see if I can find the post again. Oh, okay, here we go. All right. So Ross here said, SKG never gets a break on the narrative. The new head of GOG is talking about regulation being problematic, saying upkeep it for 10 years, 20 years, because the regulator said so. SKG has never asked for minimum support periods in any capacity. And let's take a look at the article of what was being discussed over here on Eurogamer. What is fair end-of-life cycle for a game? As Anthem servers are switched off, GOG weighs the complicated riddle of multiplayer game preservation. It's good that the discussion is taking place. Polish digital game shop GOG has built a business out of restoring classic games, those built for a different era of computers and have been rendered no longer playable. It has been finding a way to bring old classics back since it began operating 17 years ago, but in the time things have changed. New games released during that period became modern classics in their own right and found their way onto GOG, and the company's remit slightly widened. And as time marches forward again, a new challenge in game preservation has emerged: the question of how we save or resurrect fallen multiplayer games. Excuse me, just want to take a sip of my coffee there. Just this week, for example, EA switched off servers hosting BioWare's ill-fated multiplayer game Anthem. And without the servers, the game can't be accessed or played. It means that something BioWare spent several years making and something some players spent several years playing has now disappeared, blinked out of existence. Is this the sort of thing GOG might one day be able to restore? Again, Ross kind of covered that. And it comes down to, and I brought it up when I talked about Anthem. It depends on a passionate enough player fan base. you also just happen to get also Spite. Because Spite can also be quite the motivator, just to try and own the chuds. There's a group of weirdos that resurrected Concord of all stupid games. So you can get resurrections of things from all sorts of places. I asked the company's managing director, Masiej. I cannot pronounce that. Gobleski. This question in an interview, to which he replied, game preservation is a very complicated riddle. I'll just skim through the top level riddles. There's the IP and ownership riddle. There is technical aspect of it. And there's the third riddle of how to make the resurrection commercially viable, because no one can do it for goodwill, because this is not how salaries are being paid. Listen, like I said too, bring back player servers. When it comes to multiplayer games, bring back player servers. That, I would say, is the best way to preserve this, because I think, yeah, you're generally gonna have a single player aspect of the game. Keep that. And then for multiplayer, make it possible for people to create their own servers again. Bring that back. I mean, for God's sakes, they revived the excuse me. They resurrected and brought back Battlefront 2 from 2005, the original Battlefront 2. Brought it back, and then once it was shown that people could start creating their servers again, or just have them there it all was again. You had the player servers, the structure to do so. Have that in place to be able to do that, and leave it up to the player base. Otherwise, just make sure that the original aspect of the game is possible for access in some capacity or another. Hello, good morning, Dan Blackroot. How are you? Saying nothing. Let me kind of move the. Saying nothing is safe anymore. You could be minding your own business within the perfect safety of a familiar vent, but people who know better will come along and make those decisions for you. This is true. This is true. I already kind of said at the top of the getting into this topic, it's a dangerous thing, letting other people in charge of certain things. So that ship ain't getting far, and they are leaving out the riddle of steel. Indeed. But welcome, Dan Blackred. I hope you're doing well this morning. And hello, the black-pilled Timon, the meteor advocate himself. Hope you're doing well, whatever time it is for you down there in Brazil. All right, where did I leave off here? Complicated riddle. Resurrection commercially viable because no one can do it for goodwill, because this is not how. Oh yeah, resurrecting and bringing back multiplayer titles is something that's very complex. He added some things that's very difficult, but it's very visibly becoming a matter of discussion among gamers, among regulators, and publishers as well. A large part of the conversation is being driven by the consumer-led movement Stop Killing Games and its European offshoot Stop Destroying Games, which are petitioning governments and game-making companies in hope of establishing regulations to stop live service games like Anthem disappearing. Ubisoft's shutdown of cooperative driving game The Crew was the catalyst for the movement beginning. Like I said, I'd say it goes back to Battleforge for Ross Scott especially. Like, he's been wanting to do game preservation in some form or another since finding out about that and being unable to play the game due to its live service setup, and it had crashed and it shut down. So there is a broader discussion to be had within the industry of what does an end life cycle look like in games, what is a fair end of life cycle for a game. Should it be buried and killed and no one can access it anymore, and people who spent 5 or 7 years working on it cannot really look at their creation anymore because the service turned off? There is a very interesting and very complicated discussion that Stop Killing Games probably kickstarted out of frustration. Ross Scott made it pretty plain and clear. He just wants to be able to keep playing these games. Like, one way or another, just give the option to be able to still play the games. We want to make games live forever. he added at the same time, if we put too many barriers on game creators in what end of life cycle looks like, we might get fewer games. That's fine with me if people take a little more time and care into the game to make it more viable, to make it more worthwhile, something that to actually stick around longer than the life cycle that they do have, because some games have a year life cycle, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 usually. 5 I think was kind of the baseline for what Ross Scott had discovered, that like it was like usually 5 years, and you know the game can either last longer or be shut down. And I think it was the crew that ended up meeting that life cycle. So you know, make the options available. I say bring back player servers. Keep that infrastructure in, so if people want to, they can just create their own. I mean, for God's sakes, also there's there's Battlefield 2142 that's still living on thanks to player servers and other mods. Was it for is this another Star Wars mod for Battlefield 2142? First Strike, I think it was called, and they have servers still going. I mean, that's just it. Just make the ability for player servers. If anything, that'll be the start. Instead of all these goofy player lobbies and stuff like that, knock that crap off. That might in turn cause there to be fewer cooler, or it might give them time to actually think and create some games. Jesus Christ. I don't have the perfect answer yet, he said, but it's good that the discussion is taking place, and you know, at least there's that encouragement. I'd say keep pushing. Push for more thought and care into not only just the care into developing a game, but also, yes, the end of life. I brought it up during the Xbox developer event thing last week, when we started seeing those live service games being advertised. It's like, you got to keep that sort of stuff in mind. Hello, good morning, New York, Florida man. Hope you're doing well today. Saying I blame Activision and in-app purchases. By the way, sup all? Yeah, I mean, I would say that's one big aspect of it, but I'd also say, probably, I hate to say it, it's like, even though I've enjoyed a lot of them, MMORPGs was a big start of it. World of Warcraft. I mean, just from people having that $15, and New York Foreman corrected with in-game purchases. I know what you meant though. In-app, in-game, same diff. But I'd say like games like, yeah, World of Warcraft and everything really kicked off the idea of live service games and stuff like that, being like, oh well, if people are willing to pay $15 a month to play this game, well, what else can we start charging them for? And it was, you know, unfortunately, it is games like that kind of was the slippery slope and has kind of led to a lot of these little douchey things within gaming, I would say. And sadly, again, it's the PC side of things that have kind of helped with it, you know? Because again, now that's where we're at with just like the digital games. That was very big, spearheaded by Valve with their app Steam. That's what brought about I think again, we brought about this digital side of things. I don't think, maybe I'll give them a benefit of the doubt and say not intentionally, but you kind of can't help but kind of start seeing some coincidences here of the whole aspect too of you will own nothing and be happy. Hello and good morning, Qui-Gon 93. I hope you're doing well today. Saying Star Wars Hunter servers only lasted a year after release, and it's a shame that they shut it down and removed the game from the Switch library. I know I saw the Melees play that, and it didn't look that great, but I mean, yeah, like if anybody was enjoying it, playing it, stuff like that, they should still have the ability to do so. But yeah, some games have a much shorter lifespan. That game Concord and in others. And then, like I said, it just takes that right fan base to kind of resurrect it, if there is that fan base to do so. Sometimes it can happen. New York Florida Man says, look how long it takes GTA to come out with games. I think that's also them. They're struggling just to not get a big blowback shitstorm, is my guess. But also, like it is, they've hired probably, their own version of H1Bs and stuff like that. Let's face it, they're not hiring their best, they're not sending the best. It's probably that there's probably a multitude of things that are just going on that keeps pushing, because I heard they've pushed it back yet again. So for GTA 6, and you know what, I could care fucking less. My bad, but I could care less. Dan Blackridge said StarCraft is still going. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. Like, they still have and there's I don't remember the program, but there is like still the way to do peer-to-peer access between computers through your online access, and not just being in the same room to do LAN gameplay and everything like that. There's still the ability to do that. New York Florida Man says player retention isn't as strong as it used to be either. And like you said, you brought up apps. That's the big side of things too, is the phone gaming market that has blown up significantly as well, particularly with the certain opposite sex that faces a lot of those mobile shit games. So, and the gotcha games and stuff like that. So it's like, it's that, that instant gratification and stuff like that they get from that sort of stuff. That's why a lot of those have been persistent. Dan Blackridge saying Guild Wars was so much better. God, that takes me back. Guild Wars was fun. At least that was a free-to-play MMO as well. But they definitely had I think a lot of their stuff was at least cosmetic for like in-game purchases and stuff like that you could do. Dan Blacker says WoW sucked and it ruined any chances of a Warcraft 4. That sounds like people talking about Star Wars The Old Republic and it ruining any chances for a Knights of the Old Republic 3, 4, 5, and 6, because they're like, oh, that's exactly what all the player classes are, is Knights of the Old Republic 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. But yeah, probably did. And then Dan Blacker said a proper RTS sequel we never got after 2. Oh, for StarCraft? Yeah. So, let me see. I think I had... So yeah, this was on X for the Stop It Killing Games official. We already kind of saw this, the Reddit post, and this Moritz Katzner for the European Union stuff. And then just the overall count. And otherwise, that's kind of the whole spiel with Stop Killing Games. So I think that's all I had on that. New York Florida Man says, I'm partly to blame. The only Call of Duty I play is the mobile version, like 4 or 5 matches a day before I get bored. Well, the important thing is do you spend money in that Call of Duty mobile game? Because like it is, I won't lie, I jump into the Dragon Ball Legends and I'll do my dailies, but like it is, I haven't spent a dime in that game. So I'd like to think I'm a little bit ahead of the curve, but yeah, one way or another, I'm contributing to the numbers, and I get that. I do. It's just one of those things. And I can say, like, I have contributed in other bad ways of the whole, digital currency and stuff like that. I will not try and act like I am absolved of any of that sort of shit. I've sadly contributed in some form or another. I mean, I played Star Wars Galaxies back in the day, so I contributed to the whole $15 a month mindset. Yes, pay to play your games. Shit. Dan Blacker says, for Warcraft, I don't count 3 as RTS. It's too focused on the hero characters instead of units. Okay, thank you. I've always been bugged by Warcraft 3. And there was just always something about it that kind of like, it never clicked. I loved Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 was a blast. But 3 I just never connected with. And that I think was just it. The hero characters had to take in such a focus, and I think they kind of started to do the same thing with StarCraft 2 as well. But yeah. New York Florida man says, dude, I put some money into it for real during the pandemic. I'm ashamed of how much I've spent on legendary and mythic skins. Oh no. That's where they get you. That's how they get you. That FOMO, the FOMO skins and stuff like that. That's just also like what they do with Marvel Rivals. It's the same thing. They get you. They give you that whole fear of missing out on certain skins and everything. It's like, oh no. So that's how they just rope you in. All right, I think we can probably. Oh, that's right. Okay, so last week, for anybody that remembers, last week we had talked about Bully Online being shut down and being scrubbed from the internet. We'd gone through this. And hang on. So we started talking about that, and I remember saying, "Oh yeah, well, because the lead dev was supposed to post an update about what was going on and the whole reason for the shutdown and stuff like that." All right, okay, here we go. So 9-minute video. Cause yeah, here sorry, just kind of getting this all set up here. Which is funny, the person did not update the website. Dan Blackgray says, yeah, StarCraft 2 had some similar issues, but was much better as a base builder than Warcraft 3. It didn't help they released StarCraft 2 as 3 games instead of 1 with split campaigns. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, the SWEGTA.com's video coming soon. I'll make a statement about the recent shutdown on the 21st. And like it was, because I do this stream so early in the morning, I didn't get to catch the video, but the individual did post the video 5 days ago. So we do have the update, and we'll check this out and see what happened. What happened with all this guy? Why did we suddenly lose an online bully? All right, here we go. Oops.
My daddy's gonna sue you. Hey everybody, I'm back from a 5-week-long vacation, and I'm sick, as you can tell, and while I was gone, I had some stuff stolen from me, so apologies for delaying this video right here, but
oh no,
yesterday I had to spend the whole day just like documenting stuff and talking to the housing agency and yada yada. But yeah, I have some bad news and I have some good news. So I guess I'll begin by telling you about the bad news, and then I'll wrap it up and soften the blow a bit with the good news. Fat Pigeon Development has ceased all development and
That's great.
promotion of Bully Online. That's no longer a thing we're pursuing. I can't get into specifics, but I'll let you take 2 guesses as to who's behind this. I've seen a lot of people in the comment section saying that it's because of the coffee thing that we initially did, or because of the fact that we announced the mod instead of just releasing it spontaneously. I've also seen quite a few people get.
Yeah, I could honestly see that, because that is honestly what ends up happening to especially a lot of Nintendo mods and stuff like that are being made, even if it's in a completely entirely separate game, but it's Nintendo. If it's any of their intellectual properties, they'll shut that down faster than anything else on this planet. And so yeah, I could kind of see that being the case. But I think there's even a San Andreas mod online that's still running around, so
being hostile towards me and accusing me of being behind this. Let me just tell you, unlike all of the people speculating, presuming, and accusing right now, I've actually read the letter that was sent our way demanding that we cease development and promotion of this project. That being the case, me being somebody who's actually read what was said by the company that shut us down, I can tell you that this project would have been shut down no matter what. At one point, they sent us this list of different rules for mods.
Show us the message!
What you're allowed to do, generally speaking, exceptions may apply, and here's what you're not allowed to do. After taking a proper look at that list and reading through the letter that was sent our way, I can tell you that this project would have never survived. Even if we never did the coffee page and we never announced it and we just released it out of the blue one day, it still would have been shut down. Like, there's no way that this...
Okay, I wish he'd kind of bring up some extra context of what this coffee page was all about for those of us that don't know and is now kind of stumbling into this whole thing. Also, I mean, I guess, yeah, if he's under any NDA and stuff like that, but what did the letter say, boy?
Would have survived. So as far as Fat Pigeon development is concerned, we're going to pursue original projects. We're not going to do anything that pertains to Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar Games, or any of their IPs or subsidiaries. Totally original content henceforth. Okay, so that's the bad news. What about the good news? Well, here's the thing. Before we got shut down, as some of you may recall, we actually released this project as open source. I'm not advocating that anybody downloads this and continues development.
Do it. Do it. Look at Listen, if it's open source code, why not? Look at the code, see what they did, put it into something else, put it into entirely an original game, anything. I mean, why not? If it's there, it's there. And I mean, I'm not saying, hey, I'm not saying put it into a new online bully mod. I'm just saying take it, learn from it, and see what you can do with it. Why not?
But that is a possibility. It's not impossible that somebody would do that. I do not condone that. But it is possible. Everything that we've made for this project is out there somewhere. You know, like, I'm not going to link people to it, and I'm not hosting it, nor is anybody else in my team. But it is the internet.
There are plenty of autists that can find it, I'm sure.
Right? You know, something interesting that I've seen is that there are people running their own servers and, you know, creating their own communities that are slowly growing, and that's interesting to see. Again, legal disclaimer, I do not condone this at all. So just to summarize, bad news, Fat Pigeon Development can no longer pursue this project. Good news, Fat Pigeon Development can no longer pursue this project. Something else that I should mention in this video, because I've seen a lot of people throwing accusations my way, especially is the topic of refunds. They're like, are
refunds?
You refund the people on coffee. When is that happening? It's like, okay, we reached out to those people. This happened, you know, when we took down the coffee page, we actually contacted everybody and offered them
okay. The coffee page must have been when we were looking at it last week, and they brought up donations and stuff for the project specifically. And I think I brought up that's where probably they got themselves into a bit of trouble when they started doing that sort of thing. because that'll do it too. Like unless you've like you have to be like basically doing these sort of things as an entirely free open project. Like say, yeah, you get to be like, oh, here's our donations page for the channel or something like that. You have to make it very separate from these sort of mod projects and stuff like that in order to still operate in some respects, because once they see that you're potentially taking money or getting money. Okay, I'm remembering the article. Yeah, it was basically paid entry for early access and stuff like that for the server. And yeah, that I think I said that also was that's probably what got themselves into some trouble. So New York Florida Man says he said it was what he read, and what he read said was give executives head for more bread. Oh no. Oh no.
We've done that. And as for the people saying that this whole thing has been a scam, first off, refunds would not be offered if this was a scam. Secondly,
and he wouldn't be making this video if this was a scam. He'd probably take the money and run.
The entire community together. We brought smiles to people's faces, and the work that we made is out there for people to enjoy and continue developing if they so choose, which again, I legally can't condone. No. I think the most disappointing part about all of this is the fact that despite the fact that we brought all these people together, we had a blast, we created all these fond memories, and there was like a spark happening in the community. There was like new interest in this IP, Bully. There was a genuine interest in this thing. A lot of people were excited, and a lot of people were having fun with it. Despite all of that, it was just considered like a faux pas to pursue this project by, you know, the powers that be again. In my opinion...
hang on, let me bring up that article, because, again, I think it was... I think a big contributor was probably that they took... they took money for and like he says, the coffee page for basically the early access for oh god, I could have sworn it said it in this. Yeah, here we go. That said, it's worth pointing out that while a fully free version was in the books, Bully Online had a paid early access release that may have drawn scrutiny from the IP holders' lawyers. That, I think, was exactly what did it. I mean, it's great that you rallied and got renewed vigor for Bully and everything like that, but guys, this was your big mistake right there, was taking any kind of money for early access and stuff like that. Like, I understand you have server costs to maintain and stuff like that, but when you start doing things like that, and that's great that you refunded the people that put money into the project and have reached out to them, talked to them, and gotten that all situated. Cool. But you could have had more life out of your project, is my guess, is if you hadn't done this. Just saying.
Has never posed any threat to anybody. You know, this actually had a positive impact on the fan base. It led to people buying the game specifically so that they could play this mod, which, as somebody who, you know, is both a big fan of this game and somebody who led this project, that's a huge honor, the fact that we've convinced people to buy the game and play it. But again, even if we had done everything differently by, say, not doing the coffee page and just releasing the project spontaneously, totally out of the blue, with no prior announcement, even if we did all of this, it still would have been shut down. I can tell you that, because I've actually read the letter, and I know for a fact that this mod is not something that they want existing. And this is kind of interesting to me, and I can't for a fact say why this happened, but I think the timing is interesting. Coincidentally, bullymp.com went down around the same time. I contacted the lead on that project, and even he's like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I think maybe the person hosting the website took it down for some reason. I don't know. So even though I can't definitively say that bullymp.com getting shut down had something to do with this whole situation, I find the timing very interesting. With all that said, working on this project has been a huge pleasure. It's been amazing connecting with all of you in the community and sharing the laughs and really bonding over our mutual appreciation of this cult classic video game. If there had been anything creatively or design-wise that, you know, would have been preferably removed from the mod, then I feel like that could have been worked out. Like, we could have talked about that. They could have given us some kind of like list of standards or something like that, or here's the list of changes that we want made. We would have complied with any kind of creative or design-wise change that they would have wanted from us. Let's say that they took issue with like Rat Wars. They're like, we don't want that being in the game.
Rat Wars? What?
Okay, I mean, it sucks that we have to do that, but fine. I mean, provided that this project can continue to...
I wish I had jumped into this damn mod. I could. There must have been some crazy shenanigans going on.
It was just like, this has to go. Stop this now. You're given a warning right now. If you continue going down this path, action will be taken against you, so just knock it off. I mean, at that point, what are you gonna do? Like, first off, I'm not gonna put my team at risk for getting sued, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm not like a Saul Goodman type character who's gonna find some, you know, elusive legal loophole and then walk into a courtroom, present that to the judge, and he'll be like,
well, maybe you didn't try hard enough.
So well. Clack, not guilty. People dancing in the streets. You know, like, even the stuffy preacher of the town who's like, this is highly unorthodox, blah, blah, blah. Even he's like, you know what?
Okay, now I just feel like it's a bit of it's waffling just a bit there, but it's like me explaining anything. And I have, like it is, I know he said he read the letter. I get that. I just can't help but really wonder what must be on that letter and what the cause of the shutdown was. Damn. It'd be great to actually see it. But I understand legal reasons and crap like that. You can't. So, oh well there. But it's the unfortunate end results of the Bully online shutdown saga. It's sad, but it's one of those things that just happens with any of these mod projects. Sometimes you just run afoul of the original developers or just the companies. Cause it's not even the original developers anymore, but they've probably all moved on. It's now just the faceless entity of the company. So yeah, there we go. Bully update. That was it. Let's see. Dan Blackroyd said, George and I have this same problem with all these charlatans that have tried to profit off our story for their fan fiction. Are we talking about a certain individual that produces a lot of theories doing that? I think I've heard some things, yes. Dan Blackroyd also adds, Disney still refuses to acknowledge me as the original co-creator. Bastards! How dare they? How dare they? Oh. All right. That was great. That was good. Okay. So I think before we jump into this, God damn it. Leave it to Kick to suddenly get a freaking dolphin porn pusher. Can you people knock it off? I hate having to actually ban people on Kick, but god dang it, you just make me have to do it. And they always have the same avatar too. Go away. We don't like your kind around here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take. Did Iger quit too? It's a whole. Everybody's quitting now. Everybody's going away. Allegedly. Dan Blackbird says fan fiction merchandise to fund a fan fiction of a non-canon character. Disgusting. Just disgusting. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Okay, so before we jump into the Star Wars Galaxies, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Gotta refill my cup and such, and so yeah, we'll be back in just a moment. All right, I'm back. How you doing? How you doing, chat? Enjoying your coffees or whatever you happen to be consuming, or whatever time it is for you in particular. New York, Florida man saying, I'm sipping some Colombian roast this morning. How about you fellas? What's your poison? I got my own. I forgot what flavor coffee we got, but I certainly take mine. He says, let me guess, Dan Blackbird, your coffee is just black. I drink my coffee jet black. Like my soul. But for Dan Blackbird, it is 1 a.m. Oh. New York, Florida man is... Healy is sipping Foster's kangaroo milk, Australian for coffee. New York, Florida man saying, wait, 1 a.m. You 18 live in the ocean? Live in the ocean? It's 9 a.m. in New York. Well, and for me here it's 7 a.m. so in my neck of the woods. Okay. All right. So, like I've done with the previous servers, we'll do a quick little overview of the Star Wars Galaxies Legends server, just to give everyone an idea of what this one entails. Okay. So yeah, Star Wars Galaxies Legends. It's time to choose your path, fight for a cause, become a galaxy-renowned trader, all that sort of stuff. But let's say here. Oops. Community and announcements, player housing, experienced player housing, the way it was meant to be, and they certainly do have that. Unique mounts and vehicles. Collect all 40 mounts and vehicles. Be the envy of the galaxy. Jump to light speed. Space your thing. Launch into space with jump to light speeds. Yes, that is the thing about this server. They do have jump to light speed enabled, so you can do that side of it all. But about Star Wars Galaxies Legends, join with Star Wars fans across the world and jump into exciting adventures 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You and your friends will travel to legendary Star Wars locations with famous faces from the films. Along the way, you can meet up with others on missions that take you across the galaxy, fighting against many familiar foes from the Star Wars universe. If combat isn't your thing, you can choose to support those fighters through crafting necessary items or providing entertainment that inspires combatants to fight harder. You've enjoyed watching the Star Wars universe for years. Now's your chance to live in it. Star Wars Galaxies, you can fight alongside Han Solo and Chewbacca, smuggle goods for Jabba the Hutt, defend Imperial stations from the ravages of the rebels, create your own player city, put yourself in the pilot seat of your favorite Star Wars ship, and more. Are you partial to the Empire or Rebellion? Take part in the Galactic Civil War. The Galactic Civil War rages on throughout space as well as on the ground below. Rebel commanders fight for control against Imperial garrisons, trying desperately to sway allegiances and control the planet. Hard-fought battles rage on with ownership of cities, in fact, whole worlds held in balance. There is constant ebb and flow in every war, and worlds change hands from day to day between Imperial and Rebel control. And yeah, that is the thing. You get to you do. As you do the Galactic Civil War stuff, you gain control over planets, and then when you do have control, when your faction, Rebel or Imperial, have control over said planet, then that's when they garrison like the Imperial troops and stuff like that there to be able to start doing all that. But otherwise, I mean, like, there's no real things that there's. I think they're even still they need to work on. Unlike the combat upgrade server, the CU-MU that we looked at last week, or even Awakening, just because they were able to get more of the source code for the NGE side of the game than they were for earlier portions of it. I don't know why, but it just happened to be that way. Otherwise, that is the kind of general rundown of this server. I'm trying to see if there's at least just but you know what? Because they do give you the expertise calculator here. Let me just kind of show that off really quick. If it's even gonna work. I might. It's possible that I have things kind of blocking access, but that doesn't matter. Cause yeah, let's jump into the game now. Let me just switch over to that. But I mean, so this is the funny thing. When it came to the NGE, it came at quite a hell of a time. Like it was, we discussed it a little bit last week. 6 months after we had the combat upgrade drop, and they'd ironed things out for the combat upgrade. And for those of us, we returned, we got into it, we were enjoying it, we were having fun again, and we understood what was taking place. So then it's like, oh, we are going to be putting the game through another overhaul. And we're like, oh, freaking wonderful. But I know my friends and I, we tried to embrace it and everything. We tried to go like, okay, here we go. We'll go in with an open mind. And we did. We a buddy of mine stayed over at my place, and we basically then did a whole Star Wars marathon. We were watching from the prequels all the way through the original trilogy, and we were also trying to do everything we could to also earn certain things before the switch over, because anybody that had at least, I think, broken into Jedi, they would get like these legacy robes, I forgot what the elder robes, I think they were. And I talked about this, they gave a good advantage for those old time players. And man, it sucked if you were fresh off the boat newbie trying to take on those players in anything like PvP or something like that. So it could be a little rough. But you know, we certainly tried to go into it with an open mind, and they were also revamped. Either they had launched Mustafar already, I can't recall exactly, but that was another thing that was being brought in. That might have been, or it might have been just before. But yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan Blackride. You're right. The Saga of One. Phantom Menace. It is the only Star Wars movie that exists. It's the only proper one. Get on it. But okay, here we go. Let me just... Okay, gaming, boom. All right, here we go. And we will be creating a new character for this. Oh crap, I can't create any more characters. All right, I had to delete one. You're going away, fishy boy. I think he was just a crafter anyways, so oh, I had to put it in delete. Whoops. Really? All right. Delete. Delete! All right, he's been deleted. Create new character. Let's go. Dan Blackbird, the only official canon, yes. Shit. But here we go. As it was even prior, they still kept all of the races. They just really simplified things down, so now they no longer have their racial traits. So think kind of like current D&D and stuff. Like they watered it down that much. So now it is just you are picking a skin to play as. You aren't getting anything of any significance. It is just that. But I'll still be my boring old human self. Let's see if I can get away. Let's see if I can actually do the fractured filter in this server, unlike the combat upgrade server. Let's go. Jeez. Casual. Oh, here we go. Outdoorsy. Yeah, let's go for the outdoors. Why not? There we go. I'm like, I better be able to change this motherfucker. Okay. Pasty as hell. Blue eyes. Yeah, face looks fine. I think I gave... there we go. The painted on beard. I'm surprised they didn't just like put in a bunch of the hairstyles with this one. There we go. And let's just change a bit of the face there. Just kind of. Make it a little thinner. There we go. Okay. All right. So again, if you saw the other server plays for Star Wars Galaxies, either the combat upgrade or pre-combat upgrade, you saw a laundry list of different classes that you got to pick. But here we now have it all solidified, just down to these 9. Jedi. You got Bounty Hunter, you got Smuggler, Officer, Commando, Spy, Traitor, Medic, and Entertainer. And I do know that they've added as like a thing I guess everybody can do is you can pick a oh, why am I blanking? Creature Handler. You can do the creature handling a little bit. I don't know how well that works in NGE era, but it's there. So, and then piloting is basically something anybody can pick up. So, but why not? We'll go class difficulty easy. Okay, so they class skills for Jedi. This is all Jedi. Tank light side or DPS dark side, and you'll see in a moment too some of the different skill trees. Class difficulty is easy. Class skills: master precise lightsaber melee combat, harness the force to heal, protect or destroy, block and redirect incoming ranged attacks. Light side: endure heavy attacks and protect allies. Dark side: unleash devastating energy for high damage. Bounty Hunter. Difficulty moderate. Class role: off tank, support DPS, strong PvP. And that was the thing too, like they opened it up, and that I guess was kind of the interesting thing about NGE is that they opened up the ability for you to put bounties on anyone, especially when you were doing the Galactic Civil War stuff. If somebody killed you, especially if they didn't just incapacitate you, but they killed you, you had the option to set a player bounty on that person. So that was kind of interesting. I know I had gotten a couple of those, and I made that bounty hunter earn the fucking kill. Because you have to. You can't just like let them get it. But the class skills: deadly precision with rifle and carbines, track and pursuit targets across the galaxy, bounty hunting on ground or in space, snares and special abilities for crowd control, deploy traps, seeker droids, and trackers. You know what? And I just saw that they have a preview movie for these. So let's see what that. Okay, it wasn't like giving any extra dialogue or anything. It's just it is just a preview video. Let's see what the Jedi was. The Path to Jedi. Oh, they don't show the dark side? Bitches. Alright, so Smuggler, class difficulty hard, class role DPS group and support, or group support, sorry. Class skills, fast draw blaster and flashy trick shots, quick and deadly with knives and fists, cunning tactics and clever tricks, buy, sell, and handle stolen or illicit items, pistol whip for close quarters shenanigans. I wonder if they still kept the low blow for you to be able to kick people in the balls. It looked like that Wookiee was taking some damage there. Officer, class role, group support, restore action, DPS. Class difficulty moderate. Class skills, use ranged weapons to fight from a distance, use melee weapons for close quarters combat. Enhance the combat effectiveness of allies, call in artillery or mortar strikes, provide supplies to keep your allies fighting. Let's see what that. Of course they show the filthy rebels. Commando, class role, range DPS, area of effect damage. Difficulty is easy for the commando. Class skills, use flamethrowers and other heavy weapons. Use grenades to damage enemy groups, overwhelm opponents in a killing frenzy. Crowd control using area of effect damage. Wear strong armor. Damn, Black Red. Wookiees don't exist in real canon. They don't? Whoa. It's wild, brah. Commando. And I don't want to say it was the NGE, but it might have been end of life C combat upgrade that they did bring in the clone armor. The episode 3 clone armor especially. Spy, class role, ranged and melee DPS, class difficulty, moderate, class skills, eliminate individual targets quick and quietly, lethal close quarters strikes under stealth, slip past enemies unseen and unheard, assassinate a target in a single decisive strike, poisons to cripple and wear down foes. And that is going to be kind of the thing you'll see, is that with this version of the game, they did try to implement story and everything to follow along, especially in the start. Wow, so Trader has these other role sets. Class role, crafting and selling goods for the trader. Class skills, domestics is craft various domestic goods, including clothing, food, drinks, and desserts. Structures that you see there, craft various large constructions, including buildings, furniture, and spaceships. So that's also your player housing and stuff like that. Munitions, craft combat and military equipment, including weapons and armor. Engineering is craft high-tech items, including droids and cybernetic parts. So droids is one of the things that'll be useful for the entertainer here, and even the medics. The medics, I remember needing them as well. Dan Blackbird says, people need to accept that the Gungans are the real heroic species of the universe. They don't respect our lore. Bastards! That's true, they don't. The Gungans sacrifice themselves so severely just to take down the Trade Federation in the fight against for Naboo. They need more respect. Qui-Gon says, watching this while I'm nuking the toilet. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, preview movie. Traitor. All right, medic difficulty. I can understand. Yeah, hard. Class role healer and group buffs. Class skills: use ranged weapons to fight from a distance. Oh, that's what you do with ranged, huh? Restore health and vitality of all allies. Use poisons for damage over time attacks. Bring back fallen comrades from the brink. Operate to change other players' species. Really? Wild. I didn't know that they could do that. Bam! Backhanded! Entertainer has no difficulty necessarily. I would have said easy because it's really just about going to the cantinas and just basically macroing to be on easy, to just dance and perform for people. Class skills: perform dances to entertain, play instruments to boost morale, grants buffs to enhance others. That was the thing that they brought back with the NGE, was the buffs and the stat enhancements for things, because it kind of went away when they first rolled this all out and you didn't have that, but they did eventually reinstitute it, or at least, you know, polish it up. Use martial arts to defend yourself. So they're the ones that got Terraskasi and stuff. But yeah, class role buffs and social. Qui-Gon's asking, is Empire Divided expansion included in this? So it's Empire Divided, jump to light speed, whatever it was for Kashyyyk, and Trials of Obi-Wan for Mustafar. So yeah, it's all in there. Damn Black Damn Black Raid. A private dancer, a dancer for money. You didn't hear some of my stories from it was either when I played the Star Wars Awakening server or Star Wars Combat, or the Combat Upgrade server last week. But yeah, private things happen with people, between people in this game. some private roleplay sessions, let's say. People had their fun. Yeah, let's see the preview movie for this now. But yeah, people had their fun. They did things. In fact, I think go back to after this stream, go back to episode 1 and hear some of the stories there. But okay, I'm gonna be boring. I'm kind of tempted on the commando part just for the flamethrower, but I think I'll just stick with being a little old Jedi because I like my vroom vroom glow sticks. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars! Qui-Gon's asking, which operating system does this work on, or is this on Steam? So, I mean, I think you could still purchase the game through Steam and install it, and then you just install any of the mods that I link, or any of the emulated servers that I link to in the description here. So for this server, I have it. For the other 2 servers, I have it on the other 2 episodes of Respawn Roast Cantina. So you can go back and get those links, and then the install process is very easy and very simple to follow. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you can still buy it off of Steam, but there are, if you wanted to get like physical copies, I believe they're out there on Amazon and eBay. I have thought about getting the collector's edition off of eBay and stuff like that, but this will work. This should work on Windows 10, Windows 11. I don't know about Windows 7. I would imagine so, but it should work on those operating systems. I don't know about Linux or Mac. So if you use either of those 2, I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, it will have access via that. So after this, we'll take a quick peek. But yeah, chaos is afoot on this station. And this is kind of where you get kicked off here. Life Day. Yes, I'm awake in here. Hang on, let me... Oops. I get this.
They won't like losing their latest asset. To get your bearings, move your mouse to look around the room. The mouse wheel will zoom the camera in and out.
All right.
Notice the yellow bar stretched across the bottom of your screen. This is your experience bar. When it fills up, you will gain a new level and advance your skills. Check with the 21B droid to receive your physical status. Are you feeling better? The droid using the W.
Much better, thanks.
Excellent. Now talk to the 21B droid by single-clicking him and selecting a response. This will put you as a cursor. You can use the Alt key to resume normal actions.
Why won't it let me move? Oh, there we go.
Why don't you check that nearby supply cabinet for any useful items? Search the cabinet by single-clicking it. Please go to the cabinet and search it by single-clicking it.
Come on. There we go. Perfect.
Please go to the cabinet and search it.
Oh, for God's sakes. Yeah. Issued pistol. Neat.
Found a blaster. Before you can equip it, you must open your inventory. Do this now by pressing the I key.
Way ahead of you, droid.
Now equip your weapon by double-clicking on the blaster icon.
The great glowing energy ball of victory, says Stan Blackroyd. That's right.
Now try out your blaster by destroying two of those crates over there. Single-click a crate to fire your blaster at it. Keep firing at the crates until they are...
You are captive aboard an Imperial space station. You must find a way out. Destroy the door panel C-3PO has asked you to destroy. Okay. And this is another thing that they really introduced was this whole having menu missions like this. Other than like it was doing theme parks originally. I gained a level! Oh my god, it's Chewbacca and Han Solo! Sorry face! And R2-D2! I forgot they added voice work.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, you know what? I should probably mute the ski resort sound. There we go. Oh no, Imperial forces! I won't join, I swear.
Hold. That recruit is Imperial property. You're in violation of...
Take your position behind the boxes, kid. Keep firing until we have a clear path out. Take your position behind the boxes, kid. Keep firing until we have a clear path out. Take your position behind the boxes, kid. Keep firing until we have a clear path out. Take your position behind the boxes, kid.
I did!
Keep firing until we have a clear path out. Get on board the Falcon, kid.
Hang on, I gotta loot them. A hopeful trinket. Oh, interesting.
Get on board the Falcon.
Yeah. Ah, damn it, it's gonna get me for this, isn't it? So yeah,
Sounds like they're not very happy to see us. Chewie, get us out of here.
that was one of the big things that Sony Online SOE was touting with this. We are going to make the Star Wars Galaxies more Star Warsy and iconic, and it became certainly a meme among some of us of just being just like the whole more Star Warsy. But yeah, you can get your own YT-1300. Oh my God, Darth Vader!
Get up there. 3PO will tell you what to do. Have to go to help Chewie get her running.
To climb into the turret, please click on the turret panel.
Pull them off. We've almost got it fixed. Come on down to the cockpit. We're gonna
No, there's one more I have to blast. There we go. Qui-Gon saying this looks really fun. For what it is, it's not bad. Like, I still prefer the older gameplays, but because I love the Terrace Kasi play style is always my favorite, and then the ability to switch between so many different classes. Whenever I hear this music, I always think of Shadows of the Empire before I think of like any of the movies, even though that's exactly what it's all from. But yeah, they did try to revamp Star Wars Galaxies to, I mean, kind of a precursor to what Star Wars The Old Republic brought about. This is your chat interface. Use the interface to communicate, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
To access your game menu, this menu will direct you to the various game windows. Try it out now.
How do I just turn? Let me turn off all music, ambient volume, effects volume. I think that should be fine.
Great work up there, kid. Things can get a little rough when you cross the Empire. Those ties tore apart the Falcon. Anyway, I have a little gift for you from some friends.
Qui-Gon says, I ordered Shadows of the Empire novel as well for the Force Unleashed book. I recently got through. I was so glad. I've read the book before for Shadows of the Empire. Love it to death. I love that they finally did an unabridged version of it on Audible for Shadows of the Empire. And man, with the going through that book again, I forgot how creepy Shizor was. My only gripe with that audiobook is that they did not use the same soundtrack as they did from Shadows of the Empire. I think that was a big misstep. Otherwise, it was still fantastic. And I finally went through the Force Unleashed book. Both of them. I went through both, but I did those through the audiobooks. Not bad. Definitely adds more detail to what went on for old Star Killer Galen Merrick there. Little extra context here and there, and I mean, books are generally considered the canon, so it was good. They weren't bad. I'm just trying to think of anything else just to kind of comment on those books, but they it did a serviceable enough job. I just still think they're just so. I'm just so iffy on them. Just that those games in general too. Just because also I love Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy for lightsaber combat and stuff. It just when they turned it to a hack and slash basically, I was like, eh. Some of the physics in it were great and all, but it didn't live up to what they were certainly advertising to. But at least force choking and throwing around stormtroopers was fun. Hey, Static, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're doing well this morning. Okay, back to Han Solo here. Thanks, but who are these friends?
It's not important. But
what
is important is that they paid me a lot of money to bust you out.
Oh, a lot of money to bust me out of all people. Wow, I feel so special. I suppose I have to work for your friends now.
Personally, I don't care who you work for. Empire or Rebellion, either way you need money. From what
Yes, I do.
You should be able to make some.
I need them credits, yo. All right then, who's willing to pay me around here?
Kid, this place needs all the help it can get. Lately, it's been overrun with thugs and scoundrels.
Oh no!
The Master's powerless to stop them.
Do you have a contact for me?
If you insist on following that hokey religion, there's a guy named Noslin you should meet. He's probably meditating in the closed combat training room.
I'll go there now.
See you later.
And now I get my Jedi training polearm. This is where they kind of put the polearm, the other kind of melee classes too, it seems.
Press the M key to open the overhead map. Your position is indicated by a triangle. The map will show.
These maps are not very easy to follow. And they never got any easier sometimes. But that's why I guess they also gave you the blue light to hold your hand and lead you to where you needed to go. Some training droids, eh? Hello, old man. There's something familiar about you. You have a connection to the Force, do you not? Yes. I was sent to you by Han Solo. You were sent to me, indeed, but not necessarily by Han Solo. Our paths were meant to cross. Disregard anything negative Captain Solo may have mentioned about the Force. You have awakened the power within yourself. You are strong, but you need to learn control. I beg your pardon? I can feel your inherent power flowing from you. However, your control needs work. Power can lead to darkness, if not controlled. Dark side is a terrible place to tread. I see. I hope you do. Anger makes one dangerous, even for those that are not as strong in the Force as you are. I'd like you to go to the Cantina and talk to the guard there. I sense much turmoil from him. Oh, well, you will know who I'm talking about. Okay, cool. What have you given me here? You've given me some stuff. So quest acceptance. Oh, you will receive all the items once you do this. Okay, cool. You, angry one. Angry card ass. Hey, go away. I don't want to talk to anyone. What's wrong, buddy? What's wrong? There are pirates in the lower holds, wild creatures in the atrium, and nothing is being done about it. My sister was killed because of it. Oh, no. I'm sorry to hear that. It's terrible what happened to her. Yes, that's enough to upset anyone. Yes, good. Give in to your anger. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Yeah, you think? No one on the station cares, and no one will drop those invaders out in an airlock. I will. If something isn't done soon, I'll be forced to take control of the situation myself. I have a disruptor rifle, and I found a room below. They'll pay. Oh, God. I guess you should do something about it. Or would she want you to become a murderer? I mean, I guess that's an honest question. I think she would understand she was... Uh-oh. Would she want you to put the station in more danger? No, but would she want you to become a monster as monstrous as her kill? Oh God, here we go. I talked him down. Very good. That guard will be fine. Will be fine when he allows time to heal his grief. Now I want you to use your skills to destroy 7 troublesome droids on the lower level. Notice that disabling them does not disrupt the flow of the Force. Oh, okay. So long as it doesn't disrupt the flow of the Force.
To use an elevator terminal, click on the button you wish to use.
Oh, I think he said down. Down we go! Loot! There's nothing to take! Worthless droid? So I guess it's just destroying any of these droids. Any of the droids that I can fight. Okay.
Wonderful. You have gained a combat level.
Yay!
Notice that you are a bit stronger and more powerful. Press T to access your character sheet and view your vital information.
Here is the character sheet that has not changed since those previous versions of the game, at least. Other than adding, I think, like the skill mods here and the Galactic Civil... No, the Galactic Civil War was there. But otherwise, it's all the same stuff. And then you do get more... You get the collections that you can eventually start going through. And that was some of the stuff that I picked up with even the shards. These Chronicle Relic shards. I forget... Because you can, like, stack them and get certain objects out of it. So. Also, let's see. There is... So you still got your commands. Favor of the Elders. Which is kind of like a little buff. And I think because I I put in that I was from a previous Star Wars Galaxies server. So they give you that little that elder buff was for anybody that was transferring over that were still in Star Wars Galaxies before the switch from the combat upgrade server to the new game enhancements. Before they did that, so they gave you that elder buff. But otherwise, all the little macros there. Let me put on that nice little buff. It's not much, but it's something at least. Okay, profession, here we go. So here you get to see all the different phases, what you'll eventually earn through the different from leveling up. Wow, Force Run isn't until level 18? Jeez. But you do get your different stances for Jedi. You get a Force Crystal eventually. I'm trying to remember when you get... So the Jedi Initiate Robes is at level 22. My first generation lightsaber I'll get at level 30. Oof, okay. Destroy them, droids! Use the elevator to go to the main level. Okie dokie. You have done well. Now you must learn the delicate balance of life and death. Go to the atrium and kill 7 tank mites. Okay. I got some pants. What are these pants? Constitution +1. Sure, why not? Nice thing is, too, is at least they gave you the option early on to have your appearances for your equipped gear and your what are they? Oh, God, I just saw the name too. Appearance, so you can have appearance in your equipment. And so you can have the look that you like and not have to worry about it. So also at least can give you the LARP too. If you've got the Jedi robes, you can still dress regularly and not have to be looking like you're a Jedi running around, especially in this era of Star Wars when there's not supposed to be Jedi running around in Jedi robes. All right, where are these tank mites? That is kind of the only thing about it, though, is that the Legends server does have quite the community that's still involved, still playing it quite often. Like, they at least have, like, 200, 300, 400 people playing. They've had a maximum of, like, 2,000 to 4,000 players at one given time or another. So that is kind of the thing. If you're looking for a populated server, this one is certainly that. I love that they still have the old jank. All right, there's the mite. Oh, no? Yeah. There's these mites. And before I'd want to like harvest them and stuff like that, but now I just don't feel that urge to do so. Did you feel the ebb and flow of the life force? Now I want you to take on more difficult foe. Do not be discouraged. If you fall temporarily, be patient and persistent and kill the tank mite queen in the atrium. Oh. Yes, sir. Sure, I'll loot it. I'll harvest its meat.
Congratulations, you have advanced in your profession.
Yay!
First skill. Press the 1 key to assign the ability to your right mouse button. Then right-click any target to use the ability.
Okay, now I have the Jedi Focus. Activates all Jedi combat statistics. Boom. I just kind of move those around really quick. There we go. There we go. I destroyed you all. And I do know you can add some game mods to this server too. I think there's like some either some combat upgrade pre-CU animations you can get added, some texture mods and stuff like that too. But weirdly, like, I don't mind the way things look. Back to the main level. I go talk to the old man again. Very good. Understanding shines in your eyes. You have the seeds of greatness within you. Remember to temper that with understanding and control. I will try. If you merely try, you will fail. You must do. Everything is a choice. Choose to do. Do not choose to try. Well, okay. What should I do now then? You should return to Han Solo. Okay. Oh, so so I do get Padawan robes. Gotcha. Cool. Neat. There we go. Now I got my Padawan robes. But as I said, I will equip appearance. Equip appearance. What is the arc band even? Agility +1. Finally crafted bracelet. This item will increase your defense and melee. Okay. Yeah, let's keep the metal band. That one looks cooler. Equip appearance. There we go. Now I look more like a roughneck. Okay. Back to Han Solo. Wait, am I going the wrong way? I was going the wrong way, apparently. My bad. Alright, Solo, what do you want now?
Well, my diagnostics on the Falcon are done.
At least he has a voice.
I'm comfortable here because we're stuck until I get this problem fixed.
Well, shit. What's the problem?
You know, the hyperdrive is still inoperative. Would you go over to the other hangar and get some parts that I need?
Sure, why not?
Talk to the head mechanic in the other hangar. He'll be able to send the parts to me. Tell him that I'll pay him when I get the parts.
I'll go now. Always gotta get that damn Millennium Falcon working. Jesus.
To use an object, click on it, hold down the tilde key, and choose an action to perform on it.
Can I help you? I have a list of these ship parts that I need to fix a YT-1300. I should be able to sell them to you. It's a YT-1300, you say. You wouldn't happen to be talking about the Millennium Falcon, would you? Yes. Then your money isn't any good here. I won't supply you with anything. What? Then how am I supposed to get off the station? That's not my problem. Go bother someone in the cantina or something.
That's interesting.
What a dick.
The cantina reference was a hint, not a brush off. Go there and check it out. I think that my buddy Trace is in there.
Well, okay then. I think there was something else I forgot to show off too, which Chronicler. Okay, so the Chronicler is those parts that that I saw, the little shards that I showed off. But there's something else. No, that's the data pad. That's just that. Character. No, that's that. Because there is maybe that's just what comes later once I do level up enough, is that you do eventually get to pick where to put certain points for either light side or dark side combat abilities. So like they already kind of said, the Jedi is a tank. The dark side is the DPS, the damage per second. I just could have sworn. Here's the appearance tab. Oh, there we go. The appearance tab, so you can make your character look the way you want while still wearing the gear that you need to get your stats up. Weird. Like I said, I could have sworn it was part of that. Quest builder. So yeah, oh yeah. Through the relics is where you get to build your own quests and stuff like that. I've never really done that before. But it's available to you if you want. Yes, I'm a friend of Han Solo. I need to know what's going on. Ah, yes, Solo. He should leave the station soon. Not only is he unwelcome by some here, but he's hunted. He's being hunted. Hunted? In the corner there. No, don't look. Is a bounty hunter by the name of Boba Fett. He's part of the reason why Solo won't find any solace here. But he's a bounty hunter. Why doesn't he just pick Solo up? He doesn't know that Solo is here, just that he is coming. Oh.
Boba Fett?
Boba Fett!
I have a bad feeling about this. Kid.
Oh, great.
This station is too small to stay hidden. I'll need you to get pieces that I can use to repair the ship. Your journal will tell you where to find him. Hurry.
Use the elevator to go up to the atrium. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Back to the main level. Oh, now I have to go to the lower levels. Great. Get 2 power coupling units from the cargo bay too. Hello. Ah! I'll destroy you! I will be your doom! Oh, you're still shooting me. Okay. Don't mind me, just taking your credits. That's what you get for messing with me. Tuscan rifle. Oh god, I remember these being broken too when they first launched the whole NGE. And everybody was doing all these missions too. It was frustrating to try and get through it. Hey, a painting. Neat. Another painting or a poster, whatever. There we go. It's easy to get turned around sometimes. Get 5 droid motors from the droids in the repair bay. Okay, I just gotta destroy droids. There we go. Gotta go back to the main level now. You know, Solo, if this is all you needed, why didn't you just tell me to do that instead of trying to buy parts from some guy that wasn't going to give them to you anyways? Like, why bother? Come on. There we go.
You have what you need?
Yeah, here's the parts. Yes, I want to get off the station.
Give me some time to get these repairs made.
How much time?
How's it going?
So didn't you say something about a shipment?
Did I? I guess I did. Well, I managed to sell it. Not for the profit that I wanted, but it never works out that way, does it?
Nope. What was it?
Alright, you helped me out, so I'll tell you. When I came to rescue you, I also came across some goods that needed to be liberated from the Empire.
Oh.
So I'd pass them along to some friends.
Friends?
Colleagues, really. You might meet them someday. Want me to finish?
Yeah, sure.
Turns out this stuff is hot. Really hot.
Oh, no.
Unless I wanted a Star Destroyer flying up my nose. I had to get rid of it. All I know is that there's something valuable in it. I don't know what it is.
Well, who did you sell it to?
For your own safety, kid, I won't tell you. That's a business you don't want to get involved in, believe me.
Well, thanks for telling me.
Thanks for your help.
How do I get to work? Talk to Inaldra's lieutenant and get some work to nurseries to whatever. Tensari Station could use someone like you to help out. You look like you're looking for work. Can I help you with it? Yes, I want to find some adventure and excitement. Yes, I want to make money. I just want to get off this station and explore the galaxy. No thanks, I'm just looking around. I want to get off this station. How did you arrive? You should talk to the pilot who brought you here. Oh, I guess I can just bypass it and... I thought I had to do those missions. Because, yeah, I'd rather just get myself off of this damn station. Because yeah, you can do more missions on this station, be on here for a good bit. I don't know what level it'll take you to though.
How's it going? Did I?
Oh, so now this will just make me.
You help me out. Colleagues, really. Turns out this stuff is your own safety, kid. Thanks for your help.
Okay, now that I just ran it back in a loop. I could have just said, let's get off this damn station, but probably just for showing off the server, that's maybe what I should do is to do the missions. Hey. Oh, we're already at a little over 2 hours. Okay. Okay. I want to find some adventure and excitement. Ah, yes. Well, there are several people who need help with tasks at Station Gamma. What would you like to do? Huh. So you could do Frelka got hurt. Treasure hunting. Agent Farley looks mysterious. I want to check that out. Yasana needs help finding someone in Station Gamma. I'll provide it. It's always good to have a doctor like Aja Sen around. I'll help her. Or Garrick needs a courier? Sounds interesting. Yeah, let's go with the doctor. You know, doing that whole Jedi helping thing. That's an excellent plan. Here's the location. Okay. But I think you can go down the list of people to help. Hello, Fractured Filter. I have a request for you. If you have the time. Sure. I needed to go to the Station Gamma and collect DNA from the hostile Rakwa clones there. All you need to do is kill them and get blood samples. I'll need a few different blood type samples. I'll head over there now. Gathering evidence. Yeah, I think that's you're just going to be able to start doing all that sort of stuff. And this is the thing, like, with this server, it is a little more involved. Because, like, it is, you got the whole story aspect of that's going on here. Unlike, the other two servers where you just kind of, you can get dropped right into everything and start, boom. Travel back and forth from Station Gamma if, yeah, click OK. You get a little more thrown right into the, while this you are doing the different quests, and especially you get locked into the station for quite a while. A Chiss? Oh, bye. Who are you? My name is Tyrell. I'm the local trader for these parts. I sell goods for adventurers such as yourself. Really? What do you have to sell? Stimpack and Tatooine bug juice. Ugh. All right. I know some servers have added chiss for you to select as playable characters. And I think there's some servers too with more custom races than just the chiss. It's interesting what people have done with their emulated servers. But I want to try and keep this under 3 hours, so I think we'll be calling it here. And if you do. And here's what I will be doing too, is I will be putting up a poll for which of the Star Wars Galaxies servers you'd want me to continue playing in. If it's going to be the Legends server, the Combat Upgrade emulator, or the Awakening server. So I'll let everybody kind of vote on that and see how that goes. If not, I'll just maybe flip a coin and pick one at random. It might be this one just because it is, like I say, a little more involved, has the storyline to go through, and to take you from planet to planet to planet to planet. And then it'll be kind of the basis for what I continue to play going forward. Otherwise, yeah, there's that. And then maybe I'll also do kind of a poll for, which I'll do it on the YouTube channel here, and I'll link it out and onto the different places, either through our Discord or on X, and of course the community posts on YouTube and whatnot. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to kind of mention, but that should be about it for now. Otherwise, yeah, this has been a blast. Close that out. Exit the game. Bada boom. Okay. Well, thank you all for showing up, for enjoying. Oh, hello, JM Prof. Saying yo, fractured. Hello. Sorry, I'm about ready to end the stream here. But like I said, I'm going to be posting I'll be posting the poll for everybody to vote on later for which Star Wars Galaxy server to play, and maybe, like I said, I'll also see about extending time for these streams, because I had it in mind just to kind of keep it under a certain amount. But let me know. We're just ending the server, or just ending the stream, unfortunately. Prof, sorry. So he asked, how's it going? But thank you, everybody that showed up. Thank you, Static, Qui-Gon, Dan Blackroyd, Black Pill Timon, New York, Florida Man. Captain Keeley was in the chat earlier. At least he certainly just popped in. And of course, Jam Prof here. Thank you so much, everyone. And otherwise, like it is, just keep an eye out for everything coming up. We'll see. I gotta get back to the Lego Batman 2 game for sure at some point. And of course, tomorrow I'll be on Static's Weekend pregame, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check that out. Also, later today at some point, Duke Devil 95 should be posting the new episode of Wormhole Watch. Please go and check that out as well. And I hope you all had a wonderful time. I'll see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Bye-bye.